Welcome back to the Web Monkey Show. I do apologize. I know it's been a very long time since I uploaded any kind of tutorial, but I'm back with a major bang because in today's video, in today's mega tutorial, I'm going to teach you how we can build a business website, this business website, by making use of the Kadence theme and the Kadence page builder plugin. Kadence is one of the best alternatives to Elementor and to Gutenberg as well. So if you're looking for an alternative, very powerful page builder plugin to build a website, it is going to be Kadence. And in this tutorial, I'm going to show you everything you need to know about working with Kadence. So let me give you a quick preview of this that we're going to build together. The site is called Web Coders. It's for a fictional web design company. So you can see right here on the home page, we have the video playing in the background with a transparent header. As well as you can see, we have the logo on the left and then the main menu on the right. And then if I scroll down in here, you can see we have different sections on the home page: the About Us section, Services section, Testimonials section, Gallery section, the Blog section, and then finally the Contact section. And then we'll have a very simple footer with the social media icons and then the copyright text. And then I'm going to show you how you can build the About page, which is different style. Here we don't have a transparent header. We have the fixed header right there with the black background, the main banner image, some statistics, and then the Meet the Team section as well. And then I'll show you how you can build the blog page as well as the contact page. And then finally, using the Kadence AI, because of course, every page builder plugin uses AI nowadays. We're living in the age of AI. I'm going to show you how you can use the Kadence AI to generate the services page absolutely free. And speaking of free, even though the Kadence theme and the plugin have their paid versions, in this particular tutorial, we're going to be working only with the free versions of the theme and the plugin. So you don't need to pay anything at all in order to be able to build this particular website that we're going to build together. Now, a few things you should be aware of: the content, the video, the images. I'm going to do my best to provide them to you for free. So what I'll do is I'll add them to a Dropbox folder. I'll provide the link down in the description box below. But just in case it doesn't work or you can't get access to the folder, you can always use your own images, your own videos. You don't have to necessarily use the exact same content I have in here. That's not important. And then for the text, you can always get your sample text by using the Lorem Ipsum generator as well. So that's it. Let me just also quickly mention that I will be making a separate tutorial where I'm going to show you how you can work with the paid versions of the Kadence theme and the Kadence page builder plugin, because with the paid versions you have access to a lot more functionality and you can really enhance your site. So in this tutorial, it's going to be the free versions. I will upload the next tutorial where we're going to take this particular site and then further enhance it by making use of the paid versions of the Kadence theme and the Kadence page builder plugin. So be on the lookout for that particular tutorial. In fact, by the time you're watching this tutorial, it may already be on YouTube, so be sure to check it out. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I hope you're going to enjoy this mega tutorial. Let's get started. All right, so first things first, I need you to do a couple of things before we begin to build out the website with Kadence. The first thing you want to do is you want to create 5 different pages. You can see I've created the About page, the blog page, contact, home, and then services. Okay, so create these 5 blank pages. Next, you want to go to your menus and you want to create a main menu and have the About, Services, Blog, and then Contact pages in that menu. Be sure to check this box in here that says Primary. Actually, before you do this, it might be a good idea to first of all install the Kadence theme and activate it. So this is the theme right here called Kadence. It is active. I do have a backup theme for the 2024. Once you've done all of that, you want to come down here to Settings, go to General, and then my site title, I have changed that to Web Coder Studio, and then the tagline, Websites Made Easy. And of course, feel free to add your own text in here. And then of course, under Reading, you want to set the static page to display the home page set to home, and then the post page set to blog. And then finally, you go to plugins, and then I want you to install the Kadence Blocks plugin by Kadence WP go ahead, install the plugin, activate it, and then we'll be ready to move on. The next thing we're going to do is to make some adjustments to the default theme options provided by the Kadence theme. So we're going to go to Appearance, Themes, and then click on Customize. And this will bring us to this particular page. The first thing we're going to add or change will be the font family. So I'm going to go over here to Colors and Fonts and then Typography. Now, the first thing we're going to change is going to be the base font. The base font just basically means the font family for our regular text, the body text. Now, I don't like the system default. I'm actually going to go with a different font family, and this one is going to be the ABZ font family. This is a font family I've recently just fallen in love with. I like the format. I think it's pretty cool. So we're going to use this for our regular text, and then the size, I'm actually going to adjust this to 18 pixels. So ABZ, regular, and then 18 pixels for the font size. For the headings, I'm going to use a different font family. So I'm going to click on Inherit in here, and I'm going to type in Montserrat, which is, of course, one of my all-time favorite font families to use. So I'm going to go with Montserrat, and as you can see, the H1, H2, H3, they're all set to inherit, which means that they will simply choose the font family that you've chosen in here. So we've gone with Montserrat. All of them will be 700 in weight, which is fine. The only difference here is going to be the actual font sizes. So H1 will be 32 pixels, H2 is going to be 20 pixels, and so on. And I like that. I'm not going to change anything in here at all. And that is it. Okay, so I'm going to go back. All right, and then next, we're going to come down here to General, and we're going to go to Layout. Now, the interesting thing about the Kadence theme is that by default, it's provided us with some values for like the max width of our containers, spacing, and so on. These are pretty good options, but I'm going to make some slight adjustments, okay? First of all, I'm going to change the content max width from 1290 to 1240. This is just my personal preference. I don't like my max width being a bit too wide at 1290. That's almost 1300. So I'm going to bring that down to 1240. The content left right edge spacing, we're going to keep that, which is the default 1.5. However, the content top and bottom spacing by default is going to be 5 rem. However, I'm going to drag this all the way to 0. The reason for this is because there are many instances where I would like to use maybe a different amount of spacing for a particular container on a particular page. And in some other cases, I may not want to use any sort of spacing at all. So this is just my own personal preference. I do prefer to add the paddings and the margins and any other kind of spacing manually to my container. So that's why I am bringing this down to 0. And then also notice that we also have the options for the tablet mode and also the mobile mode as well. So don't forget this. Okay, so click on tablet, and then I'm going to bring this one down to 0 as well. And of course, for the mobile, bring that down to 0 as well. And then one more change, which is going to be the narrow layout. I'm going to adjust this just a little bit more to 850 pixels. And that is it. That's all the changes we're going to make for now. However, I just want to point out that just in case you're interested, you could also go to Posts and Pages Layout, go to your page layout, and then in here you've got a ton of additional customization. You can decide to change the title of your pages, the layout, so that it's either in content or above content. You can change your title container width, change the element of your page titles, and then even the elements for your pages. Do you want to display the title, the breadcrumbs, any sort of metadata? You have all these options in here. And then for the default page layout, depending on the kind of site you're building, you may want to go with the narrow width, full width, and so on. The point I'm trying to make here is that you have access to a lot more options for other kinds of pages or websites you may want to build. So take full advantage of these options. So I'm going to go ahead right now and simply hit publish, and that is it. So join me in the very next video where we'll now begin to build out the header for our website. Every website needs a header, and so in this video we're going to build out our custom header. Now by default we do actually have a pretty decent header as it is. I mean, we've got the name of the website, Webcoder Studio, and then of course we have the main menu on the right. However, we can obviously do much better. So first thing we're going to do is we're going to go to header, go over here to logo on the general. We're going to select the logo, and you should see this in the media files I provided for you. It's the logo, so web coders. We're going to click on select, and then make sure you highlight everything in here. We're going to crop the image, and we're going to adjust the width from 200 all the way to 250 pixels, make it a little bit bigger. However, for the logo layout, I'm just going to display the logo. There is really no reason to show your website title or even your tagline. The logo is more than enough. Okay, now next, we're going to go back. We're going to go over here to our primary navigation. However, before we do this, let's make a quick change to the actual section holding the header, the background color. So down here, where you have this gear button, you want to click in there. You want to go over to design, and then where you have the main row background, let's add 6 zeros, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So we're going to go with a black background, okay? And then for the padding, we're going to add some padding at the top, so 10 pixels, and then also some padding at the bottom as well, 10 pixels, just to add a little bit of some spacing and breathing room for the header. And there it is. We're going to go back now, go back once again. Oh, sorry. Let's go back to header on the general. Now go to primary navigation. So you'll click in here. We're going to go over here to our design. One thing we're going to do is we're going to change the navigation colors from the default in here to just plain white. So click on the very first circle in here, which is going to be the initial color. You want to go with white, which is going to be FFFFFF, 6 Fs, basically. And then the other two circles in here would be for the hover color and then the active color. I actually like the default color, so I'm not going to change any of that. One thing I will change, though, will be the font family. As you can see right now, this is the ABZ font family, but personally, I always prefer my main menu to have the exact same font family as the headers. And if you remember, we chose the Montserrat font family for the header. So I'm going to go with Montserrat. Okay. And now for the style, we're going to go with 600 pixels, make it a little bit thick. And then for the size, drop this down to 16 pixels. However, the transform, we're going to go with capital letters. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead right now and hit publish. And just like that, we've created ourselves a much improved header. Please note that in case you're interested, you can always build out additional different kinds of headers. You have the available items in here, like your secondary navigation. You can add your search box, your customized special button, your social media icons, and so on. So as an example, let me just quickly show you. If I wanted to add social media icons with the main menu, I'll simply drag social and then drop it right down in here. I can either go to the left or to the right. So let's go to the right of the primary navigation. And then right there, right now, you can see we do have the social media icons in there, and then you can modify them. So just be aware that you have a lot of flexibility in building out different types of headers. I'm just going to go ahead and remove that and hit publish. And there it is. So join me in the next video where we're going to build out the footer for our website. After the header comes the footer. And again, by default, we do have a pretty decent footer with the copyright text. But we're going to make some changes. So I'm going to go over here to footer. And the first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to modify the default copyright text. So I'm going to click on copyright. And I'm just going to remove the theme credits. Okay, there's really no need to tell everyone that, hey, you know, our site was built with Kadence Theme. Let's just keep it simple. Copyright, symbol, the year, and then, of course, the site title. That's fine. Now, we're going to add our social media icons to the footer. So I'm going to drag social in here and drop that in the row just above copyright. By default, we do have Facebook, X, and Instagram. However, we can add an additional social media link. So I'm going to click on social in here. So right here where you have social, I'm going to click on add social, and let's go with LinkedIn. Why not LinkedIn? And there it is. Now, if you want to change the default symbols used for each social media link, you can click on Facebook, for example, click on the drop down arrow, and then you can go with either icon, SVG format, or upload your own custom image. Under icon, you have different styles, but I'm just going to go with the defaults as they are. Okay, and now for the item spacing, I'm going to increase this to 0.7 just to add a bit spacing between these social media icons. And then the content alignment will align to the center as well. And now over here, you can set the actual links to your social media account. So you click on set social links, and then right here, you can add the actual link for your Facebook, your Instagram, and so on. Let's go back to footer, go to social, and now I'm going to go over here to design. Okay, I want to make the icons just a little bit bigger. So from 1, we're going to go to 1.5. Let me just change that, 1.5. So they're a little bit bigger. And then for the colors, I'm going to go, first of all, with the initial color, I'm going to go with black. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. There it is. And that's pretty much all we're going to do. One last thing though is we're going to reduce the spacing between the row containing the social media icons and then the row containing the copyright text. So I'm going to click on the gear button in here for the middle row. Click in there. And now right over here where you have top spacing and then bottom spacing, let's reduce this to 0. And then for the bottom spacing, we're going to go all the way to 0 as well. And guess what? We're going to do the exact same thing for the bottom row as well. So let's go to the gear button right there. And then top spacing, bottom spacing is 0. Top spacing is also going to be set to 0 as well. And that's pretty much it. I like my footer being very, very simple as well, just like with the header. Gone are the days where your footer will be populated with plenty of links and navigational menus and so on. Just the social media icons, copyright text, and that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go ahead right now and hit publish. Let's close this. And now let's go over to the home page, and your home page should be looking like this. So we're getting there. Header all set, footer all set. Join me in the very next video where we'll begin to build out content for the home page. Alrighty, let's begin to build out the home page, and this is going to be quite intensive. For the very first section, we are adding the banner, which is going to be a video playing in the background. We're also going to add the main headline and a few other pieces of text as well. So this is going to be quite intensive. Pay close attention. Let us begin. I'm going to click on edit page. And the first thing we're going to do in here is just simply, I'm going to click on the plus button in here, go to browse all. And then under Kadence, I'm going to choose the row layout. We're going to go with the 1 column layout. All right. And now in here where you have the plus button, I'm going to click inside, go to browse all. And then I'm going to add the text block. All right. So let's add that one. And I'm going to type the main headline, which is, of course, our websites made easy. Okay. Now, we need to change the color from black to white because the background for the row is going to be a video. And of course, you want white text instead of black text because white text will blend a lot easier. So we're not going to see the text for a while, but trust me, it's going to be there. Let's change the font size to 3XL first of all, so it's very, very, very large, okay? And then under general, align to the center, very, very, very important. Go back to style, and now for the color, I'm gonna click in there, and I'm gonna go with white, okay? All right, so we can't see the text, but it is there. All right, next thing we're gonna do is this. We're going to add the video to the row, the background of the row. So I'm going to make use of the highlighter in here. Go to row layout. Okay, so over here to the right, I'm going to go over here to style. And then for the background, I am going to go all the way here to video, choose video. And then for the video type, we do have options to load the video directly from YouTube or Vimeo, but it is a lot faster if you simply save the video to your media library and then load it from there. So I'm going to go with local MP4, select video, and it's going to be the banner video in here. Select, and we'll have the video playing in the background now. As you can see, that's the video right there, and you can see the white text blending quite easily to the background. However, to make the text a bit more legible, what we're going to do is I'm going to come down here to the background overlay settings. Okay, and now we're going to choose the overlay color. And of course, I'm going to go with black, which is typically the best. So 6 zeros. And then the opacity, we're going to go all the way to 70 to make it quite dark. All right, there it is. Okay. Next, I'm going to go over here to advanced. We're still modifying the row. Okay. So for the padding, just remove all padding. We're not adding any padding at all. Oh, sorry about that. Go back to row layout. So none, none, and then none. All right. Next is going to be the margins as well. Again, just make sure this one is set to none. And then for the bottom as well, set to none. Structure settings, you want to change the minimum height in here to 1,200 because I want it to be big and wide. So 1,200, that's going to be the minimum height for the row. And now we also want the text, the main headline, the subtitle, everything to be in the middle. Right now, it's aligned at the top. So what you want to do is this. First of all, set the inner column height to be 100%. Basically, you're saying, okay, the container inside of the row that's holding the websites made easy, also make it the same height as the row itself. Okay. Next, what you want to do is go back to the row layout in here and then choose the section. Okay, so look at the hierarchy. We have the main row and then we have the section or container holding the text. Okay, so now go to section, click on section right in here. All right, and now over here where you have the vertical alignment, you want to go with vertical alignment middle, and there it is. So two things you need to change in order to get your text to align at the middle of your row. Okay, very good start. We're going to make some changes now to the actual page itself. So up here, you want to click on page settings, all right? You click in there. First thing we're going to do is we're going to enable the transparent header, okay? Next thing, we're going to disable the page title. We don't need the page title. The page layout, we're going to leave that as it is. However, for the content style, in fact, before we change this, let me just save first of all, okay? Let's save so we can see what it looks like right now. So there it is, okay? Because we've enabled the transparent header, you can see right now that the logo and the main menu has blended in with the background, all right? However, we want our content to go full width. We don't want any one of these white space on the left, at the top, at the right. We don't want any of that. So to remove this and ensure that our banner goes full width, we're going to go back to edit page. The first thing you want to do is to go back to your page settings where you have the content style. Go to unboxed. Unboxed basically means that, okay, we're not dealing with any containers, no spacing whatsoever. And then go to your row, the row layout, okay, make sure the row is selected. And then right here where you have the alignment, you click in there and now choose full width. And there it is. That is the magic sauce right there. I'm going to save. Let's view the page and voila, just like that, we have the banner going full width, the video playing in the background, we have the main headline, websites made easy. Let's now add the subtitle as well as a contact us button as well. Let's go back to edit page. Okay, so right in here, I am going to go to the plus button, and now let's add the text again. So make sure you can see the blue line appearing just beneath the website's made easy tagline, and I'm going to release the mouse to drop the subtitle in there. And now I'm going to type in, oh, I do apologize, I missed that, go in here, text. So make sure this is highlighted. And now this is the text over here. I know it's a bit hard to see, but the text is right here. I am going to highlight and say, we build amazing websites on time and on a budget. All right, now over here where you have the color of the text, click in there. Let's go with white. And then under general, we're going to align to the center as well. And then going back to the style, you do have different sizes in here. I'm going to go with the LG font size, okay? And now what we want to do is we want to remove the extra space in between the main headline and then the subtitle. So click on the main headline in here, all right? And now you want to go over here to advanced. And then where you have the whole padding, again, just make sure this is all set to none, especially for the top and the bottom as well. And then same thing goes with margin as well. Make sure this is set to none. And that's pretty much it. We have now successfully removed the spacing between the main headline as well as the subtitle. And then the last thing we're going to do right now is I'm going to click on the plus button one more time and add the buttons, and then add that just beneath the subtitle. And I'm going to click inside, and then I'm going to say contact us. Okay. And now the button here will be large LG. And now for the button link, it's going to be / and then contact. So this will directly link the button to the contact page. For the styling, no need to change anything in there except for the font itself. So let's go to style. And then in here, typography settings, I'm going to click in there. And now what you want to do is for the style, the letter K is in here, just change that to AB so that it's in all caps. And that's pretty much it. I'm going to go ahead right now and then save. Let's view the page. And there it is. That is the home page playing right there. And that's it. We've pretty much built out the homepage banner. We have the video played in the background. We have the main headline, the subtitle, as well as the contact us button as well. I do realize that the video isn't playing smoothly in the background. It's actually my internet connectivity that isn't doing too well at the moment, but hopefully yours should be playing pretty well. Now, before I round up the lesson, I just wanted to assure you that later on, we're still going to handle the mobile design, because right now as it is, even though it looks very good on desktop, it's not going to look as good on either tablets or mobile devices. So don't worry, we're still going to handle mobile design much later in the course. But for now, our homepage banner is looking pretty good. And that's it. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next video. Before we move on to the next section, I wanted to show you a quick trick involving the height of the main banner. So if you wanted to set your height to automatically adapt to the screen size so that it always fills out the entire height of the screen, I'm going to show you how you can do that. So at your back end, we're just setting the minimum height, which will be under advanced for the row structure settings. So right here where you have minimum height, instead of dealing with pixels or things like that, you want to change this to the VH, okay? And then set this one to 100. All right. So what this will do is that automatically the screen size, it will always be filled out by the banner, regardless of how big or small that screen is. Notice that right now I'm viewing the website on a 34-inch monitor. You can see right now that we have access to the footer. We can see the footer. The banner isn't occupying the entire height. But now watch what happens when I save this. Okay, I'm going to go back in here, refresh the page, and now you can see automatically the entire height of the initial screen has been filled out. And before we can view anything else, I'll have to scroll down. Now we can see the footer. So this is a very, very common design practice. So if you want to set your height of your banner to always adapt to the screen size, no matter how big or small it is, simply set the minimum height to 100 VH. All right. Okay. So with that out of the way, let's move on now to building out the very next section, which will be the About Us section. So I'm going to come down in here, add our row, and it's going to be a 2-column layout this time around. Now, in the very first column in here, we're going to add the text, the headline, and this one will be Leading Web Design Firm. Okay. And then just beneath it, we're going to add yet another text block. So I'm going to drag text block and then make sure it's inside the column. So I'm going to drop that right there. Now, I do have some text that I've written out. This isn't actual lorem ipsum. This is real text. So let me just go ahead and paste that right here. And what I'm going to do here is that I'm going to change the header from H2 to paragraph. All right. So it basically just says that web coders will specialize in website development, design, and security services, yada, yada, yada. So that's basically the text. And then we're going to add one more block, which will be the button block. And the button block is right here. So I'm dropping that again. Notice the blue line appearing just underneath the paragraph. So I'm going to release, drop that right there. And now this one is going to say About Us. So this button should link to the About Us page. And then right over here under General for the single button block, the link right here, I'm going to say / and then About. Okay. There it is. And then, of course, let's make sure that we've aligned the button to the left. So right here, go to Justify Items Left. And there it is. All right. For the second column, we're simply going to add an image. So let's click on plus, go to Browse All. Let's look for the image block. And it's the one right here, image ADV. Let's select our image. And it's going to be this one right here called the background code. I'm going to select that. And there is the image. Now, I want to show you one very interesting way of styling your images. In this case right now, one thing we could do is we could add like a mask to the image. So when you go to style for the image block, you will see mask settings right here. You click in there and then you have different kinds of mask shapes that you can go with. So you can go with like circle, you've got hexagon, diamond, and so on. I'm going to go with the diamond style. I like it. I think it's pretty cool. One thing we will do though before we save is to add some padding for this particular row. So I'm going to use the highlighter right here, choose row layout. So we're editing the row. I'm going to go over here to advanced. And now for padding, we do have some padding, but I'm going to go from SM to LG and then also bottom SM to LG as well, just to add a little bit more padding. Let's go ahead right now and save. Let's view the page. And voila. So that is the About Us section. Nothing too fancy at all. Just very, very, very simple. Main title and then some text and then the button linking to the About Us page. And then, of course, the image on the right with a mask design. So that's it for the About Us section. Jump in the very next video where we're going to build out the services section. Welcome back. So let's move on to building out the services section next. So just beneath the About Us section, I'm going to add yet another row once again. And this time it's going to be one column. And first of all, we're going to add the title. So I'm going to go with the text ADV block. So the title here, very simply, will be our services. Okay. Now, we're going to make use of a new block, and that block is going to be the tabs. So I'm going to click on plus in here, and you will find the tabs right over here. So I'm going to drag that. and then drop that just underneath the services block. Now, the interesting thing about tabs is that you have different ways of displaying your tabs. I prefer kind of like the vertical format. So the fourth option in here, that's the one we're going to go with. So I'm going to choose that one. So by default, you do have 3 tabs, which we will make use of. So the way this works is that you're going to click on the very first tab in here, and you can just directly type inside. So the first tab here is going to be web design. Okay. And the way this works is that when a user clicks on web design, to the right, something should show. What we're going to do right now is we want to show both an image and then also some text besides the image. So what we're going to do here is inside, we're going to click on plus, and we're going to add yet another row again, but this time it's going to be 2 columns, so that in the first column we'll have the image, and then the second column will have the paragraph text. So let's click inside in here. I'm going to go to image, and the first image we're going to choose in here for web design is going to be this one right here. Select. And then right here, we're going to add the text block. And I'm going to paste some lorem ipsum text that I've copied. Let's change this H2 to paragraph. And there it is right here. So let me just quickly show you how this will look like on the front end. Let me save, refresh. So if I scroll down here, do you see this is how it works? So web design by default will be open, but when a user clicks on the second tab, over here we should see the image for the second tab as well as the text related to the particular tab. So this is exactly how it works. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to go back in here for tab 2 and also for tab 3. I'm going to fill out the information. Again, it's going to be, I'm going to add a row with 2 columns. The first column will have an image, and then the second column will have a paragraph text. So I'm going to fill that out. I'll pause the video and resume the video once I have finished doing so. Welcome back, and as you can see, I have added the remaining 2 tabs. So we have web SEO. I've added the SEO image and then the lorem ipsum text. And then web security, we have this image, and then we have the text right here. So the next block we're going to add will be the button that will link to the services page. So I'm going to click on plus in here once again. Let's add our button just underneath the tabs block. Let's drop that one right in there, and then I'm going to say view all our services. And there it is. I'm going to go ahead right now. Let's save, and let's take a look at what we have. Refresh the page, and there it is. Okay, not too bad, but we still have quite a lot of work to do. One thing I want to do right now is to add plenty of spacing, and then also add like a background color for the entire row. So check this out. Like, I'm going to go back to the back end. Let me use the outliner in here. Select the row, the primary row containing everything. And then I'm going to do this. I'm going to align full width. However, we don't want the content itself to be full width. So right here on the layout with the row still being selected, you want to tick the box in here that says inherit max width from theme. So I'm going to select that one right there, and there it is. So even though the row has gone full width, the content itself will still be inside of the box. Next, we're going to go over here to style, go to background color. I'm going to click in here, and I'm going to choose the option right in here, which is the F7 FAFC color. I do like this color as a background, so I'm going to choose that one. Next, we're going to add some color as well for our tabs as well as the background. So in your outliner, select the tabs block right here, select tabs, and then content background right in here on the general. I'm going to go with the same color that we've just chosen for the row background. Okay. And then in here, you could select an initial tab to open by default. If you don't select anything in here, the web design, or your first tab rather, will be the one open by default. So we're just going to keep that as it is. And then for the border, we're going to reduce this one down to just 1. Just make it very, very, very thin. No need to make it too thick. Next, we're going to go over here to style. All right. Now, one thing I want to change here will be the title background, just to differentiate it from the rest of the background, because right now it has the exact same color. So one thing I will do is I will change the background color in here to the very first option in here, which is the 2B6CBO. And then the title color itself, change that to white. Okay. Still, that's for normal. And then under hover as well, we want to do the exact same thing. So for the hover color, we're going to set that one to white. The hover background, we're going to set that to the exact same color. And then we're going to do the exact same thing as well for active. So active color, again, will be set to white. And then the background will be set to the same background color as the rest of the tabs. That's it. Let's go ahead right now. Save once again. Come over here, refresh the page. And there it is. Okay, starting to get there. It's looking a lot better right now. However, one last thing we should do would be to add some space in between the view our services button and then the tabs, and also add some space in between the services and then the tabs themselves. Let's just let the row, the contents of the row, breathe a little bit. So we're going to add plenty of padding. And now that I'm looking at it, I'm actually thinking, you know what? Maybe we should just remove the border completely. How about that, right? I mean, you can still see the border right here. It's only 1 pixel. It's very, very, very thin. But at this point, I think we'll be better off without using any border at all. So let's make some changes. Okay, I'm going to go back to the tabs. Let's go over here to general. And then for border, we're going to change that one to 0. No need for any borders. We don't want any borders at all. And then I'm going to go over here to the row itself, the main row. Let's go over here to advanced. And then for the padding, once again, we're going to go with LG for the top. And then for the bottom as well, LG. And now for the services, okay, I'm going to select the header, our services. And I'm going to add some padding to it as well. So under the text block, I'm going to go over here to advanced, and then padding from the top, we're going to go with some XS, and then the bottom as well, some XS, just to add a little bit of some padding. And let's save once again, come over here, refresh, and there it is. Okay, looking much better now. Maybe one final thing we could do is maybe remove the excess margins or paddings from the image right here. You can see the image right here. It's a little bit too, it's pushed down a little bit too much. So maybe we can reduce the paddings in here. So let's go back in here. Let's go over here to our tabs. Let's go over here to style. And actually, I think it's under advanced. Yes, right here where you have padding top, we're just going to reduce this to 0. So now the image is a bit further to the top. Let's go back, save. And one last thing, don't forget, add your links to your button. So let's click on the view all our services, and then right in here, add / and then services. Make sure it links to the services page. And there it is. Let's go ahead right now and save. Come back in here, refresh the page, and voila, there it is. We have successfully built out the our services section. So join me in the very next video where we will now go ahead to create the testimonials section. I'll see you then. Every business website needs a testimonials section to prove to potential customers that, hey, they're the real deal. They can get the job done for you. So that's exactly what we're going to do here. We're going to add a testimonials section, and we're going to have 3 different people giving the best testimonials for Web Coder Studio. So let's go ahead and create a testimonials section. I'm going to go ahead right now and add, as usual, our row layout. It's going to be 1 column. And again, we're going to add the text block. And the title here will say from happy clients. That's right, our clients are very, very happy. On the general, of course, we're going to align this one to the center. And then next, we're going to add another row but this time it's going to be 3 columns, the 3-column layout. So first column in here, I'm going to click inside, go to browse all, and we're looking for the testimonials block. It's the one right here. And there it is. So by default, you do have kind of like the layout. It says best product I've ever used. None of this will show up, by the way. You will need to add your own title as well as your text and things like that. So what I'm going to do here is I am going to paste some lorem ipsum text that I found. There won't be any title as such, but right in here for the image, I'm going to click inside and I'm going to go with this guy right here. He looks very, very happy. Let's let's use his image. And his name is John Rusty, and he is from a company called Intercom Inc. So yeah, what I'm going to do right now is I'm going to do the exact same thing for the next 2 columns. I'm going to add my testimonial block, add the lorem ipsum text as well as the name, image, and the company of the person giving the testimonial. Welcome back, and as you can see, I have added the remaining 2 testimonials, one from Sophie Kelly, from the world famous company called Headbook, and also from Sean Smith, from the world famous company called Microsoft. Don't judge me. I know these are very, very interesting names of companies that I formulated from actual real companies. Don't judge me. I know I'm not the most creative when it comes to coming up with names for companies, but yeah, let's just use them as they are. All right. Last thing to do basically would just be to add some padding as usual for the entire row. So I'm gonna go back in here. Let's go with the outliner, select our row, and I'm gonna go over here to advanced, and then padding will be LG, and then bottom LG. Life is good. Okay, let's go ahead right now, save. Let's go back in here, refresh the page. And there it is from happy clients. John Rusty, Sophie Kelly, and Sean Smith have all patronized web coders, and they're all extremely happy. So you should also hire web coders to build your website. So that's it for the testimonials section. Join me in the very next video where we're going to go ahead now to add our image gallery. Welcome back. Now let's move on to building out the gallery section where we're going to show snapshots from the different websites that our company has built. So I'm going to scroll down in here, and once again we're going to add our row. It's going to be 1 column, and then for the column itself we're going to add the gallery block, which is the one right here. So add gallery, and now we're going to select our images. So I'm going to go with the 4 ones in here, this one, and also the travel blog as well. Let's create a new gallery, insert the gallery, and there it is. All right, so we're going to make some changes in here. First of all, for the gallery type, you do have different styles in here. You've got grid and fluid carousel and so on. I'm going to go with the carousel, all right, which will be the 3rd choice in here. The image ratio, you do have different options in here, but I'll stick with the default 3:2. For columns, we're going to reduce this one to 2 columns instead. And then for the thumbnail image sizes, you always want to go with full. Okay, this will prevent any of the images from shrinking or being blurred. They're going to display the images in their full size, which is best for clarity. And then next, we're going to go with the actual row itself. So I'm going to use the outliner up here, go to row layout, and then over here, we're going to align full width. And yes, we also want the gallery to go full width as well. One thing we will do though is to add the style, the background color, and we're going to go with the same color that we've used for the services section as well. So let's go ahead right now, save, and let's take a look at our gallery. And there it is right there. It's full, massive. A few things though, it looks like the carousel isn't rotating or moving the images automatically. So let's make that change. We're also going to add some additional padding as well. So let's go back in here. So row layout still selected. I'm going to go over here to advanced. And then padding, we're going to go with the usual LG, bottom LG as well. And now for the gallery itself, we're going to go over here to the carousel settings, okay, on the general carousel settings. So over here, you want to take the carousel autoplay. So I'll choose that one. And then, of course, the speed, the transition speed as well, things like that. I'm just going to keep them all on default. We can enable the image lazy load to increase the performance of our page. And that's pretty much it. So I'm going to go back, save, go back in here, refresh the page. And there it is. So automatically the carousel should play. Okay, there it is. So you can see right now it is moving automatically, and there it is. So notice too that the snapshots of the websites, none of them have white backgrounds. Okay, you can see they're all covered in different kinds of colors. This one has like the island blue, green. Over here we have like a brown. Over here it's dark as well. The reason why I deliberately did this was because I don't want the backgrounds of the images to blend in with the white background or the gray background that we've chosen for the row. So this was very, very, very deliberate. That's why, again, I specifically chose websites who have colors, who don't have like a plain white background on their homepage. So that's it for the gallery section. Join me in the next video where we're going to go ahead right now to add the blog section. I will see you then. Welcome back. Now let's build out the penultimate section, which will be the blog section. And hopefully you already have 6 different blog posts on your website. Now, let me fully acknowledge that a blog section, or in fact a blog page, isn't the most common on a business website because most businesses don't write blog posts, okay? They just sell their products, their services, and that's it. But you do have other companies who do like to write blog posts on topics related to either the services or products that they offer. You know, they'll hope to take advantage of some good SEO and get traffic onto their site. So let's look at it from that perspective, okay? We're adding a blog section for our web design company. So let's go ahead and do this. As usual, we're going to add the row, and now it's going to be 2 columns. However, we're not going to go with the equal widths anymore. Instead, we're going to go with the left heavy, where the first column will be 66% of the entire width of the row, while the second column will be about 33%. So let's go with this one. And now in here for the first column, we're going to add a brand new block called the posts block. Now, automatically, we have the 3 latest posts being populated in our column. However, we're going to change that. Let's bring this one down to just 1 item. And then for the layout settings right over here, change this one from 3 columns to just 1 single column. We're going to make some other changes as well to the excerpt length as well and the read more link. So what we're going to do here is this. Okay, first of all, we're going to go over here to style. Okay, where you have your image settings, you want to change the image ratio from 3:2. So let's go with 2:3. Make it a little bit taller. Okay, or maybe even let's try the 3:4. Nah, 2:3 I think is going to be much better. As usual, image size, we're going to go with full. And let's also remove the read more link. There is no need to have that over there. So we'll go over here to advanced. And then under content settings, expand that one. And then the enable read more, we're going to hide that. Okay. For the second column, we're basically going to add the exact same block, posts yet again. And now number of items, we're going to reduce this one down to 3 items. Okay, and then layout settings, again, is going to be 1 single column. However, notice that it's still pulling the same post that we added in the very first column. All right, so to avoid the post from being repeated, what you want to do is where you have the offset starting post, just choose 1. What this means is that the block will automatically skip the very latest post and move on to the second, third, and fourth posts that have been published. So that's that. Now, what you're going to do is over here under the general, the style, we're going to change that from box to unboxed because we want to reduce the number of space in between the items. And now let's go over here to style. For the image settings, what we're going to do is we're actually going to remove the image. We don't want any image at all. And then for the title size, we're actually going to go with SM. Very, very, very small size. Actually, that's a little bit too small. Let's go with MD. I think MD might be a little bit better. MD for the size. And then category settings also, let's disable the above title category. There is no need for that. And then we're going to go over here to advanced. What we're going to do here is we're going to make some changes. We're going to remove the author. So let's disable that one. And then we're going to reduce the excerpt length. It's a little bit too long. So content settings, you want to enable the custom excerpt length. And then we're going to bring this one down to just 10. Just 10 words. And then we can also disable the read more. And that is it. The last thing we're going to do is we're going to add the button to go to the blog. So right over here, you can see the entire column has been highlighted. I'm going to click on the plus button in here and then simply add the buttons block. And in here, I'm going to say view the blog. And then the button link right here should go to our blog. I'm also going to align to the left. So on the style, oh, do forgive me, not on the style, but actually over here, just go with the items justification button. You click in there and then justify items to the left. And last but not least, let's add some padding to the row itself. So go to row layout, go to advanced, and as usual, we're going to go with the LG. Life is good. Life is good. Okay, save. Let's come over here, refresh the page. And there it is. We have successfully added the blog section to our home page. However, I am a little bit disappointed with the fact that the button for the blog is a little bit on top while the content for the second column is further down. So let's try to reduce, so let's try to make the heights of the columns almost the same. So one very easy fix to this would be to actually reduce the size of the titles of the blog posts in here. So let's go back. I'm going to click on one of the blog posts over there, go to style. So what we'll do is that we're going to go back to the font size of SM. Okay. I think with SM, it still should be big enough for people to read. So let's just make that little change. Go back in here, refresh the page. And there it is. Just like that, you can see right now that the heights of both columns are very, very similar. So that is it for adding the blog section. Jump in the very next video, we're going to add the final section, which will be the contact us section. All right, so let's go ahead to add the very final section on our homepage, and that's going to be the contact us section. So without wasting any time, let's jump right in. I'm going to go with the row layout, 2 columns. The first column in here is going to have the text block. And I'm going to say, got a project, question mark, let's talk. Okay. And then I'm going to add another text block again. So text block, and now I'm going to paste some lorem ipsum text, change H2 to the paragraph. And last but not least, we're going to add the button that will say contact us. And of course, I'm going to align this to the left. And of course, the link right here will say /contact. Okay. Now, for the second column, we're going to make use of the Lottie animations block. Now, if you're familiar with Lottie files, good for you. If you're not, lottiefiles.com is a platform where you can download and make use of animations that are extremely lightweight. So it's free of charge. You can create your account. Once you've logged in, you can search for animations in the search box in here. So for example, we can search for contact, and over here, we'll have access to the different types of animations available for contact. So as an example, the one we're going to use is very, very similar to the ones over here. Let's click on the one by Mohammed. So if you see an animation that you like and you want to download it, you click on it, and then right here you'll see download. You'll click on download. And the wonderful thing here is that you'll be able to download the animation with various types of formats. So you have Lottie.json in here. You have optimized Lottie.json, optimized.lottie, and then other formats like your GIF, MP4, WebM, and MOV. For our purposes, we're going with the optimized Lottie. I've actually already downloaded a very similar animation, which I've already provided for you as well. So I'm going to make use of the animation. It's on my desktop. You cannot upload the animation that I provided for you because it's in a JSON format, which you cannot upload to media library. So make sure it's in your documents folder or your desktop or anywhere where you can actually access it on your computer. So I'm going to click on plus in here, click on browse all. I'm going to go with the Lottie animations block, and then right here on the right, file source, we're going to go with local file. And then I'm going to click on upload a Lottie file. I'm going to click on browse in here, and you can see right here, it's on my desktop, the JSON contact JSON file. So I have uploaded it. And okay, that did not work. Sometimes this can be a little bit tricky. Let's try that one again. So section. So what I will do is I'm going to remove the Lottie files block. Okay, I'm going to delete that and start afresh, because if you don't, from my experience, it does tend to misbehave quite a lot. So I'm going to do this again. I'm going to click on the plus right here, add Lottie animations, and then over here I'm going to go with local file and then upload a Lottie file. I'm going to add, first of all, let me add the animation title. So I'm going to say contact will be at the animation title. Now click on browse, select the JSON file, and now click on upload, and there it is. So we cannot see it yet. It will only appear on the front end, but hopefully it should play. Now for the playback settings and all that, there's no need to change anything in here. Let's just leave that as it is. I'm gonna go ahead right now and save. Let's refresh the page and hopefully it will work, fingers crossed. And there it is. Okay, so you can see it's actually now working. We're going to make a few more changes. First of all, we want to make sure that the content of our columns are perfectly aligned in the middle, okay? And we're also going to add a background color for our row and then set it to full width as well. So let's do that. I'm going to select the row first of all, and then over here, we're going to go with the align or full width. However, we're going to set the content max width to go with the max width from the theme. And then on the style, we're going to go with the background color of gray. And there it is. Going to advance now under the structure settings, we're going to set the inner column height to be 100%. And then the second thing we'll have to do is we're going to go to the section, hold in the Lottie animations file, okay? And our vertical alignment, we're going to set that one right there to the middle. And let's do the same for the section holding the text as well. Vertical alignment set to the middle as well. Last but not least, let's go back to the main row. Let's add the good old padding, the LG. Life is good. And then for the bottom, LG life is good as well. Save. Go back over here, refresh the page. Scroll down, and there it is. We've successfully added the contact us section. However, the final change we need to make here is, notice the footer is right up the butt of the very last section. So one thing we can simply do is to add some margins to the final container in here. So let's go back. So still under advanced, for the bottom, we're going to add the, maybe not LG, but let's go with the XXL margin. All right. save. Let's go back, refresh the page, and voila. That is it. We have successfully added the contact us section, and with that, we have built out the home page for our web design company. Starting, of course, with the main banner, the main headline, the contact us button as well, the about us section, the services section with the tabs, the testimonial section, the gallery section, which by the way, if you wanted to, you could also remove like the patterns on the left and the right. If you want like the galleries to go like completely full width, you could do that as well. You could also remove the space in between the images as well. You'll find them under the styling options if you wanted to. And then over here as well, we've added the blog section. And last but not least, we've also added the contact us section as well. So that is it. Congratulations, we've built out the homepage for our website. I will see you in the next video. With the homepage already built out, let's move on to the next page, and that's going to be the about page. Now, the about page, this is going to take a while, so I might have to divide this particular lesson into two parts, but let's see how it goes. I'm going to go ahead right now and edit the page. And as usual, we're going to add the row block first of all. And what we're going to do different here is that we're going to attach a background image to the row itself. So I'm going to go over here, click on row layout, one column. Now check this out. Okay, I'm going to go over here to style, background image. I'm going to select this image right here. Let's select that. And image file size, I'm going to go with full size. The image size set to cover, that's perfectly fine. The image attachment set to scroll, okay. However, under advanced, I'm going to first of all remove all the patterns, okay. We don't need any patterns at all for a background image. So remove all of that. However, for the structure settings, I'm going to set a minimum height here to about 1024 pixels. And now for the row itself, we're of course going to make this go full width as well. And then last but not least, for the page settings, I am going to disable the page header, the title. We don't need that. So let me go ahead right now and save. Let's view the page and check that out. All right, you will notice almost instantly that we do have some margin, this white space between the header and the background image for the row. So let's go ahead and sort that out, what's going on. The first thing I will do is I'm going to remove whatever margins might exist on the row. So let's do this. I'm going to click on the row, go back to advanced. And now over here, right where you have margin, I'm just going to make sure that it is set to none. All right, make sure both are set to none. And I believe this should have fixed it. So let me just go ahead and save. Let's view the page one more time. And it still hasn't fixed the space. And so what else might be going on in here? We've removed all the patterns. We've removed all the margins. So what's going on? Well, there is one final thing you need to be aware of. And that goes back to the page settings, all right? In your page settings, right over here, you're going to see the content style set to default. This basically pulls in some additional padding and margins from the theme option. So if we don't want that, we're going to have to set this to unboxed. So now we're saying, hey, we don't want any margins or patterns with our content. If we're going to add any margins or patterns, it's going to be us to do it and not the theme itself. So this should now finally fix the spacing issues. Let's view the page and voila, you can see right now we no longer have any margins, no more patterns, and everything is all nice and neat. All right, next we're going to add our main titles and subtitles as well. Down here, we're going to add, as usual, the row layout. This is going to be one column. Now I'm going to add the text block, and I'm going to say building amazing websites since 2012. Okay, I'm going to align this to the center. And for the size, we're going to go with 3XL, make it really, really big. However, I would like to reduce the line height between both sets of text. So where you have the line height in here, I'm going to go with 100 pixels, okay? So let me do that again, 100 pixels, and that is about right, okay? I'm going to go ahead right now and add the subtitle, so text block, and I've already copied the text. Let me just quickly grab it from my other screen in here. So I have written that we strive to design and develop the best looking websites that will grow your business and make a meaningful impact. Okay, H2, I'm going to convert this one to paragraph text. And of course, we're going to align to the center as well. Let's add some padding to this particular row. So I'll use the outliner, go to row layout, go to advanced. All right, padding. We're going to go with the good old LG. However, I've tested this out and LG isn't enough, okay, because this text is actually quite big. So let's go with the XXL, extra large. All right, so XXL, top and the bottom. All right, looking good. And now we're going to add some useful statistics like, number of websites built, the amount of money we've saved for our clients, things like that, right? So let's go ahead and add yet another row again. This time, however, it's going to be 4 columns. And now we're going to add ourselves a brand new block, and that block is going to be the info box block. This is actually one of the most useful blocks out there because with it, you can create content around testimonials, statistics, our team, services, and so much more. So the way it works is you'll have 3 different pieces of content. You will have your icon at the very top, which of course you can change, but you can also use an image in place of the icon. You'll have the main title and then some text beneath the title. So let me show you how this works. Over here, you've got different types of presets. I'm just going to go with the default. However, under style, I'm going to go over here to media settings and I'm going to change the media type from icon to none. We're not working with any icons or images in here. So title, I'm going to say 124. And what is 124? Well, that's the number of websites designed and built. All right. So we're basically telling potential clients that, hey, we've built over 124 websites already. So what I'll do now is I'm going to increase the size of the 124, make it like really big. So under style, where you have title settings, I'm going to go in there and let's go with 3XL, like make it like really, really large. You will notice that because we've changed the size, we now have plenty of spacing between the main title and the subtitle. So where you have margin, just over here, I'm going to add 0. Okay, note that all of this is under the title settings. So you have container settings, media settings, title settings, everything should be under title settings, all right? One more thing we're going to do is I'm going to add, just for design purposes, I'm going to add a black border to this particular section, but it's going to be to the right. Okay, let me just show you how you would do something like this. So I'm going to use the outliner in here. I'm going to go to the section, box right now section, and then I'm going to go over here to style, and then under border styles, check this out. Okay, I'm going to say, I'm going to add 1, but before I do so, over here, this is where you can set the borders for individual sides. Okay, so I'm going to click in there. So now we have the top, left, right, and then at the bottom. So over here, I'm going to say 1 pixel. Okay, and now over here, I can select the color. So that one, and of course, I'm going to go with the usual 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, which is of course black. Let me go ahead right now and save. And I'm going to go over here. Let's refresh the page. And there you go. So 124 websites designed and built. Okay, so I'm going to do the exact same thing for 3 more columns. But let me show you very, very quickly how you can speed up your work or be more efficient. So because we've already added all the necessary design to the very first section in here, I can simply right click and then just do duplicate and then duplicate again, and then duplicate one more time. And now I can go to these other sections over here, delete them, and actually let me duplicate the original one more time. And there you go. So now I have all 4 columns with the exact same content. So all I will need to do right now is just to go to each individual column and just simply change the necessary information. So I'm going to pause the video and I'll resume once I have done so. All right, as you can see, I have modified the text for the remaining 3 columns. So I said $100,000 plus saved for our clients, 0% of clients are hacked, and of course 12 plus years of experience. So it's looking pretty good. One final thing I just want to do is for the very last section, there is no need to have the border on the right. It's kind of redundant. So I'm going to go over here to style, border styles, and then over here I'll just set that one to 0. And there it is. So let's go ahead right now and save. Go back in here, refresh the page, and there you go. All right, so we've added the main background image. We do have the title, some text, and now some statistics as well. So I'm going to stop the lesson right now because I don't want it to go on too long. So join me in part 2 where we're going to add the meet the team section. I'll see you then. All right, so let's finish building out the about page, and the remaining section we'll have to add is going to be the team section, kind of like, meet the team section. So let's go ahead and add the usual row layout, 1 column. I'm going to add the text, and I'm going to say meet the team. Meet the team. Let's align this to the center. We're going to make the text quite large as well. Let's add some padding to the row first of all. So padding, let's go with the XXL bottom as well. All right. Now next, I'm going to add another row. And now this time I'm going to go with the 3 column layout. And I'm going to make use of the same info box that we used last time. So the way this will work right now is I'm going to click on the first box in here, go to style, and then for the media settings, I'm going to change the media type from icon to image. Okay, and I'm going to choose the first image over here, this gentleman. Okay, and I'm going to call him Bob Jacobs. Okay, just as an example. And the text in here would be, Bob's the CEO or the owner of the company. He loves playing chess and this and that and that. Just usual stuff, right? The only thing I will change here would be maybe the border radius, so we can make the edges circular. So I can go all the way over here to, let's say, maybe 50. And that's it. Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead right now and then save. And let's see what this will look like on the front end. And there it is right there. We've got Bob Jacobs. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm simply going to go ahead to just duplicate this column a few more times, and I'm going to add the remaining team members to the section. Welcome back, and as you can see, I've added the remaining team members. We have Vivek Thompson, Jill Valentine, Mary Poppins, James Wong, and of course Rambo, who is the chief of security. So that's it. I'm going to go ahead right now and simply refresh the page, and there you go. That is a meet the team section, and that's pretty much it for the about team page. If you wanted to add some additional information on the about page, one other thing you could also do, and I can give you this as an assignment, is you could also add like a slider or maybe even like a carousel of past clients, for example, right? So you can grab their logos and just simply display them. So to do that, what you want to do is you can make use of the gallery. All right, the gallery block. And then all you need to do is just simply grab icons or logos of different kinds of companies. So just as an example, let's just assume these are logos, right? These 3 logos. I'll create my gallery, insert the gallery. And then what you want to do is over here, you can simply display them either as a carousel or even as a fluid carousel as well. And then you can add like a title saying past clients we've worked with or something like that. Like that's additional information you can add onto your about page if you wanted to. But I'm pretty satisfied with what we've done so far, and that is it. So thank you for watching the video, and of course I will see you in the next class. Let's now go ahead to build out the blog page, and as you can see by default, because we set the blog page to be the posts page in our WordPress settings, the Kadence theme has automatically already pulled in the blog posts onto this page, as you can see, and it's actually not bad at all. I think it's a pretty neat design, but we can improve on this slightly. So let's go ahead and build our own custom blog page. So I'm going to go over here to edit page. However, you're going to see that WordPress is going to give us a message saying that you're currently editing the page that shows your latest posts. So because we've set the blog page to be our posts page, WordPress will not let us edit this particular page. So if we want to take over and be able to edit the page, what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to go back to our settings, go to reading, and then here where it says post page blog, just set that to none. Okay, so now I'm going to save my changes again. And now let me just go back to the blog page. Now I click on edit page. And now you will see that WordPress will be able to allow us to now edit the page. Okay, so what I'm going to do right now, first of all, is as usual, we're going to add our row layout. There's going to be one column. And now in here, I'm going to add the posts block. And again, just like we did in the home page, what I'll simply do here is I'm going to reduce the number of items to just one. And then the layout settings, I'm going to go with one single column. However, for the page, or rather the image alignment, I'm going to go with top. So we have the image on top and then the excerpt and so on. Next, I'm going to add once again the posts block. So I'm going to drop that just underneath the first post. And now again, we're going to check the offset starting post. I'm going to go with 1 so that the featured image up here isn't displayed anymore. Okay. And now for the layout settings, I'm going to go with 2 columns. I think should be fine. And there it is. Okay, let's add some titles. So I'm going to go back in here, add plus, add the text block, and at the very top in here above the first post, I'm going to drop that in here, and I'm going to say latest post. Okay, and then let's do that again. I'm going to click on plus, drag the text block just above the other posts, and I'm going to say other posts, and there it is. And then finally I'm going to add some padding to the main row. So using the outline in here, select row layout, I'm going to go over here to advanced, and then padding, let's go with LG, the good old LG, and there it is. I'm going to go ahead right now and save. Let's view the page, and there you go. So blog, we have the latest post, and then we have the other posts, and there it is. So we've basically improved on the default blog page just slightly, and that's it. Now, however, if you wanted to edit or design the single posts page, like for example, this is a single post right now, one thing you could do is you go to customize with the Kadence theme options. And then from here, what you want to do is you want to go to your post pages layout, and then you will see the single post layout over here. So this is where you can modify how the layout of your single post would look like. So for example, right, the post title layout, you could go with the one where you're going to have the title of the post as well as the meta information above the featured image. And of course, for the post title align, just go with center in here so that everything is centered. I actually do prefer this particular design more than the original. You scroll down and you'll have the main content area. You will have the similar post block and then the comment section. And You can also do other things like add necessary title elements. You can change the default post layout and then go with like sidebars if you wanted to. And of course, you can also go with the design options where you can change things like your title font, the colors, and so much more. So you do have some flexibility when it comes to designing how your single post pages would look like. But that's it for designing our blog page. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next class. Alrighty, let's build out the contact page. And typically, a contact page would have the contact form. And with Kadence, we can actually build our own custom form. So what you want to do is you're going to go over here to Kadence and then click on Forms. And then you're going to click on Add New Form up here. And then from here, you'll be provided with different options for the design of your form. I'm going to wait for the page to load, and there it is. So you're going to have 4 different options. You'll have the one with a typical name, email, and message fields. You'll have one with options. And then you also have forms for subscription. Maybe you have like a newsletter. You want people to subscribe to your newsletter. You do have 2 options for those. I'm just going to go with skip blank so we can create our form from scratch. So I'm going to say contact form will be the name. Form description, I don't need to do that, so I'll just click on create. Now, if you do see this message, just go ahead and say keep it as is. It's fine. All right. We're going to add our fields right now by clicking on the plus button in here, and I'm going to go first of all with the text field. So over here, it's going to be required because this field will be the name field. So the field label, I'm going to say name. Name will be the field label. However, we're not going to show the label. I do prefer to show the placeholders instead. So I'm going to add name as the placeholder. And then under advanced, you can do things like change the max width, the minimum width, and then under extra settings, you can add like your field name. So in this case right now, I'm going to add name for the field name as well. And if the field error message when required, for example, if the user or visitor did not fill out the name field, what error message will be displayed? So I'm just going to say name is required, okay, which is pretty much the default. All right. Now, next, we're going to add, by clicking on the plus button, we're going to add the email field now. And of course, I'm going to add the field label will be email. We're not showing the label. However, I will add the placeholder and say email. It's also going to be required as well. Okay, let's go ahead now and add the third field, which will be the telephone field. I think this will be a pretty important field as well. Maybe not required necessarily, but nevertheless, I'm going to add the label, and I'll call that one tel. And then, of course, we're not showing the label, but I will provide the placeholder and call that one telephone. And then, of course, the very last field will be the message field. So you want to go with the text area field. So text area, this will be required. Number of rows, we're going to go with 8 rows. Okay, let me just add the label in there. So this will be message, and then the placeholder will, of course, be message. And I will hide the label. And there it is. So a pretty standard contact form with the name, email, telephone, and message fields. Now, before we save, we need to change the position of the submit button. As you can see right now, it's all up here. So click on the submit block and then hit down, 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 down. And that's where it's supposed to be. So let's go ahead right now and save the contact form. I'm going to go over to the contact page. Let's first of all refresh the page just to make sure so that it will recognize the form that we've just created. All right, now I'm going to go ahead and add our row with 2 columns. First of all, I'm going to add the text block. And I'm going to say send us an email. And I'm going to make this an H6, some small letters. And now I'm going to add the form block. Form is going to be the contact form. Click on select. And there it is. Okay, so over here on the right now, we can add some additional options. So besides the fields that we've added, like the telephone field, for example, we can also determine what happens when the user has actually submitted the form. So right here you have submit actions. So what should happen once the form has been submitted? Well, you can choose email. You can choose to redirect to a particular page. You can even use Fluent CRM and MailerLite applications. But email is the default, and that's perfectly fine. So email has been selected, and now email settings. What will happen right now is that the contents of the form will be emailed to a particular address. So in here, for example, I can add my address, alex@monkeyonline.com, just as an example. And then email subject, I can say contact form from Web Studios. Okay, just as an example. And then the from name, from email, from name, you can leave these ones as they are. The reply to, this will go to the email field. Whatever the user will fill in here, that will be replying to the particular email for the user. So again, no need to change anything in here at all. And that's pretty much it. And then, of course, under your message settings, you can customize different kinds of messages for if the message was sent successfully, if there was a validation error, or if there's a general error, you can modify the messages in here. So that's it for the contact form. And now over here on the right, we're going to add the good old Google Maps. So Google Maps is right here. And by default, we do have the Golden Gate Bridge selected for us. I would say that's fine. I'm not going to change anything in here at all, except maybe change the zoom from 11 to maybe 13. And then on the style, we're going to change the height from 450 to, let's go with 400 for now, just to see what it's going to look like. And now over here at the bottom, I would like to add some additional text. So what we're going to do is I'm going to add another row again, but this time it's going to be 2 columns. Oops, sorry about that. I made a mistake. It should be in here. So you can see I'm going to click on the plus button just underneath the map right there, just to make sure. Row layout, 2 columns. There you go. All right. So for the first one in here, it's going to be the text. I'm going to say, give us a call. Give us a call. And then I'm going to press enter. And then phone number is going to be +44 868 765 4321, something like that. 0. Okay. And then over here on the right, pretty much the exact same thing. I'm going to say best time to reach us. Press enter. I'm going to say Monday to Friday. And then I'm going to say 8 a.m. to 5 p.m. Let's make it 6 p.m. Why not? 6 p.m. Okay, now for the actual text themselves, they give us a call. I'm going to go with SM. So it's very, very small. And then same here as well. I'm going to click in there and I'm going to go with SM. So let's go ahead right now and save. And let's view the page. And let's see what we have. And there it is. Very, very simple contact form. Contact page with the contact form, as well as Google Maps and the phone number, as well as the best time to reach us. So that's pretty much us creating the contact page. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next class. Over the last couple of years, AI has grown rapidly in our daily lives, and in the area of web development, it is no different. In fact, all major page builders like Elementor and Kadence all have their own AI builders now. And while it's a good idea to be able to know how to build websites and web pages on your own without the use of an AI, it is nice to learn how to use AI to also help us, our assistants rather, in building pages and making our work a little bit easier. So that's why in this video, I'm going to show you how we can use the Kadence AI to build out a page, and specifically we're going to use the Kadence AI to build out the services page. So over here right now, you want to click on design library up here. So you click in there. And now, by the way, before we jump into the AI section, you do have pre-built templates for different types of content. So you can go to patterns over here as an example, and you'll see patterns for different types of content. So a pricing table as an example, you have different pre-built templates. You have for like location, you have for accordion, counter stats, and so on. So you can always use this to quickly insert a particular kind of content on your page and then modify the content itself. So I'm going to click on Write with AI now, all right, just to show you how to use the Kadence AI. So Write with AI, and now we're going to activate the Kadence AI. This will bring us to this particular page right here. I'm going to skip this, and I'm going to click on Get Started with Kadence AI. Now, you will have to register your account with Kadence in order to be able to use the AI. And with the free version of Kadence, we have access to, I believe, about 250 credits. Free to use. And then if you want more credits, you'll have to go with the paid version of Kadence. So what I'm going to do right now is I'm simply going to log into my Kadence account. All right, so as you can see right now, I have logged in, and the same thing too, when you register your account and you log in, you will be presented with this particular request asking that you connect your website with your Kadence account. So I'm going to go ahead right now and click on connect. So there it is. Okay, so now we are connected, and you can see you have all the necessary information. I'm going to go ahead right now and click on next. And the thing is, you do have to fill out all this information because it's actually necessary. So very quickly, and we'll just go ahead and do this real quick. Company, web coders. Industry is going to be web design studio. All right, let's go to next. Oh, online only. Let's just say online only. Okay, so next. All right, and I'm gonna fill out this information as well. All right, so as you can see, I filled out the information for tell us about our business, and the Kadence AI really wants you to provide as much information as possible. So if you're actually building a real life website, the more information you can provide the AI, the better. All right, so I think this is good enough. I'm going to go ahead right now and click on next. And now our keywords would be things like web design, so web development, web design, web security, SEO, content management, website design, online services, and I think that's okay. Next will be the tone. What kind of tone do you want to go with? So there's a ton of them over here. In my personal subjective opinion, for a web development company, you can either go with professional, maybe even friendly as well. I'm gonna go with friendly. All right, friendly, and let's go ahead and hit next. And okay, so what are the goals for your site? In our case right now, we are displaying services. So I want to display my services, and then next. And now the final stage is going to involve images. So, do you want to like use your own images, or you can simply go with the AI search collection. So I'm just going to go with generate initial content. So this is going to be worth 70 credits. You do have the option to also go with like my images and then upload yours separately, but I'm just going to go ahead and use the one provided by the AI. So what's going on right now is that the AI at the back end, as you can see right now, is generating all the AI content for different types of pages and so on. So it says generating AI content. This happens in the background. You can leave this page. Now you can find AI content in your design library in the editor. So let's go back to this particular page right here for the services. Let's just refresh the page. And normally it takes about a few minutes for the AI to finish building out all the necessary pages. But let's see. I'm going to go to my design library right now. And let's see. And oh, look at that. So the Kadence AI has actually built the pages already. Take a look at this. So we have a variety of different types of services pages, actually. This is pretty cool, right? Let me actually even take a look at the home page. So there's a home page right here. There's a contact page as well. There's a gallery page. Interesting. There's also like a portfolio page. But I'm going to go back to services. So let's see. Okay, which one are we going to use? I'm just going to go ahead right now and use the very first one in here. Okay, so I'm just going to click inside. And now it's preparing the content. And there it is. So I'm going to go ahead right now and just hit save. Let's view the page. And just like that, we have content for the services page. And of course, from here right now, we can simply go back to edit page. And then we can begin to modify the content. We can change the text. We can change the images, add whatever necessary padding or margin or spacing we might want. And as you can see right now, the AI actually does a pretty good job of writing real content. See, web design. Okay, it kind of repeated web design twice and web development twice and web security twice. But hey, it's still better than nothing, right? So we can come in right now, modify the text. And not bad at all. Also logos as well of like, companies we've worked with, things like that. So not bad at all. So that's how you would use the Kadence AI to build out your pages. Again, don't forget that besides the AI, you can also go with like the design, the inbuilt templates for the design. You can go to patterns right here and you'll see different types of templates for different types of content that you can add on to your site. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next class. One final thing we need to do before we round up building our website is, of course, to test for mobile responsiveness. Now, I remember when I built out the homepage banner, I did say we were going to ensure that everything looked good on the mobile design. Now, over here with Kadence, right here, you can click on the view mode and then check for like the tablet mode and then also the mobile mode as well. And right off the bat, you can see that on the tablet, certain things don't look quite good. For example, the image in here for the About Us section, it's really not that great. The services section is a complete mess. This is just not good at all. And then the clients or testimonials section rather, it's okay, but honestly, it'll be much better if we actually have the testimonials stacked on top of one another. The gallery, it may look good on tablet, but for mobile devices specifically, it's often not a good idea to display galleries. Usually, the blog section is decent. It's okay. And then the contact us section, there seems to be an issue with the Lottie animation plane. But that's for tablet. Let's take a look at the mobile view. And up here, yeah, you can see the top here is really, really messy. We need to fix that one. The About Us section is fine. And you can see the image right here is actually displayed much better than it was on tablet. But it's still kind of redundant, to be honest. It's just an image lying there. The services section is actually much better on mobile, as you can see. The testimonial section, yes, this is exactly what we want for the tablet view. You can see right now the testimonials stacked on top of one another. It's just so much better. The image gallery, again, personally, I will not display galleries on mobile devices. And the blog section looks really, really, really good. Nothing to change there. And then the contact us section is also pretty decent. Okay, so let's go back to the desktop mode. Let's go all the way to the top. And the first thing we're going to do here is this. For the background, for the banner, we're going to change the background video to a background image for both the tablet and the mobile views. So check this out. Okay, I'm going to go over here to my outliner, row layout, and then we're going to click on the row. let us select the settings for the block, or rather for the row rather. So I'm going to go over here to style. Now, right here, look very, very carefully. I'm going to select the tablet mode. And now it says set a custom background for tablets. Yes. And now we're going to simply use a background image. Background images are best for tablets and mobile devices. So I'm going to go with the background image right here. Let's select that one. And there it is, looking much, much, much better now. And then also for the mobile view, automatically, whatever you set, whatever changes you make to your tablet mode will automatically transition into the mobile view as well. So keep that in mind. If you wanted something separate for the mobile view, then you'll have to add that setting specifically to the mobile view. So sticking with the tablet mode, okay, now the banner is looking much better. Over here, what I'm going to do is this, okay, let's select the row. It's going to be the second row over here, right? What I want to do here is I'm going to switch the layout from equal 50-50 left and right to collapsing them. So stacking them on top of one another. So this now looks much better, but then this image is just being very redundant. It's just an image. It's not really indicating anything. So one thing we could do is we could say, hey, this section holding this image, let's hide it on the tablet and mobile view. So how are we going to do that? Well, on the row right here, I'm going to click on the section holding the image. Then I'm going to go over here to advanced. And now where you have the visibility settings, I'm going to set that to hide on tablet and then hide on mobile as well. Now you're not going to see it on the back end right here. You'll have to save and then view it on your device. So in fact, let me just go ahead and save this. All right. And even if I was to refresh the page right now, and let's switch back to tablet mode. If I scroll down, you can see that the image is still there. So these kinds of changes, you're not going to see them from the back end. However, check this out. Okay. One thing I will do here is let me go to my desktop. Okay. Now, one thing I can do is I can simply minimize the window right here. Okay. Let's scroll down. So this is still considered desktop view. However, when I begin to now get to this particular screen size, you can see right now that the image has disappeared and that the first column is now 100% of the entire width of the row. So you can see right now for tablet mode, it's now looking much, much better. But like I said, when you're viewing it from the back end, you're not going to see those changes. So one thing you could do is you could simply go to your desktop and then minimize the window of your browser, and then you can begin to see the changes real time. So let's go back to editing the page. I'm going to switch back to the tablet mode. Tablet mode. Let's scroll down. Okay. Now the services section. Check this out. Okay, one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to modify the structure of the tabs. Remember, we use the tabs block. So one thing I will do here is I'm going to go over here to the third row. Let's expand this one. And it's going to be the tabs block right here. So check this out, okay? You can see right now that the tablet mode has been selected. So one thing I'm going to do here is I'm going to choose the accordion style. This is going to be much better for the tablets and mobile view. So you can see right now that the tabs are stacked on top of one another, and it's now much, much better than what we had initially. So that's how to fix the tabs for the mobile view. And then for the client section, again, I'm going to go over here to the row. And now one thing we could do here is we could switch to the mobile view and then see, oh, okay. So for the mobile view, it's actually good. I don't think we need to change anything in here for the testimonials section. I think it's fine. I think it's fine as it is. Okay, let's just move on to the next section. All right, so the image gallery, personally, I would hide this, especially for the mobile view. Maybe tablet might be okay, but for the mobile view, I'm going to go ahead and hide it. So let's go over here to the advanced and then visibility settings, and then simply just hide on mobile. There's really no need to display the gallery on mobile. And then for the blog section, that's fine. However, the contact us section, you may have issues with the Lottie animation playing on tablets and also on mobile devices. So let's just go over here to the very last final row. And then for the second section, holding the Lottie animation, again, I'm going to go over here to advanced, visibility settings, hide on tablet, and then hide on mobile as well. And then for the row layout itself, again, let's make sure that the tablet mode is highlighted. I'm simply going to choose the collapse to rows so that the first column will occupy 100% of the entire width of the row itself. So that's pretty much it. The final thing I want us to change will be under the actual mobile view itself. So let's go over here and I'll switch to mobile. And right now you can see that the banner looks, this looks really bad. We need to make some major changes in here. So let me first of all make sure that we have the row selected, okay? Now, there are several ways how we could fix this, but by far the easiest will be just to set a minimum height specifically for the row. So let's go over here to advanced and then structure settings. So right here where we have the minimum height, we can just reduce this to something reasonable. So let's say maybe 75. I'm just typing 75. Okay, this is much better. Okay, but we're not done. Next thing we could do is we could add some padding to push the content downward. So we could go over here to like padding, for example, and then we could increase this to about XL or maybe XXL. Okay, I think XXL is just about right. And there it is. Now it's looking much better. We could also add some padding also to the left. Okay, just to add just a little bit of some padding to the left. So XXXS. Let's also add the exact same thing to the right as well, just to add a bit more of a buffer on the sides as well. So now this is looking much better than what we had originally. And then you scroll down. Okay, about us section is fine. Services section is fine as well. Testimonials section is fine. We've already hidden this for tablets, so automatically it will hide for mobile as well. So no need to change anything in there. The blog section is fine. There's no need to change anything in the blog section, and contact us section is fine as well. So I'm gonna go ahead right now and save, and that's basically it for designing the home page to be responsive on mobile devices. So again, there are several ways how you could always make certain kinds of changes to make it look a lot better on tablets or mobile devices. You can hide columns, you can hide elements as well. You can reduce font sizes, add extra padding, set minimum heights, especially when it comes to dealing with rows with multiple columns. You can set it so that the columns will begin to stack on top of one another when they're on a mobile view. And one other thing you could even do is, for example, with the services section, one thing I would have done is if the tabs didn't look good for mobile device, I would have recreated the services section by using a different block. So I could have done something like a 3-column row and then use like the info box in each column to represent the content for like web design, web SEO, and then web security. And then I would have done it in such a way that that particular row will only be visible on tablet and mobile, but then hide on desktop. So kind of like the reverse of what we've been doing thus far. So be very creative when it comes to designing specifically for tablets and mobile devices. The Kadence theme and the Kadence blocks are very flexible. So be sure to play around with them. So that's it. Thank you for watching. I will see you in the next class. Well, that's it. We've come to the end of this mega tutorial where I've shown you how you can build a business website by making use of the Kadence theme and the Kadence page builder plugin. If you thought this tutorial was awesome, please do give it a thumbs up, share this tutorial with anyone who may feel might benefit from it. And of course, if you're new here to the channel, welcome to the Web Monkey. If you love content like this, be sure to subscribe and hit the bell so they're notified whenever I upload a new video. Now, just a gentle reminder, I will be uploading a separate tutorial where we're going to take this exact same site and further enhance it by making use of the paid versions of the Kadence theme as well as the Kadence page builder plugin as well. So be on the lookout for that particular tutorial. Thank you so much for watching this tutorial. I hope you've learned a lot. Stay safe out there, and I'll talk to you next time. Cheers.